Believe in yourself, believe in your dream. No one will see where you want to go except for you. You go through hell, keep going up until you are.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's a super exciting episode of Not Wasting a Single Story. Yep, you're still stuck with me, your host, Dr. Gamuchirai Matezo, and it's always a treat to have people doing wonderful things within the space of waste management and beyond. I've never mentioned this to you guys, but I actually love art. That's the space where I go and calm down. With the little experience, I've always wondered whatever happens to these little beautiful pieces that we come across scattered on the grounds, what happens to the metals, what happens to the glass and all sorts. And lo and behold, today we have someone who is going to just show us the beauty that lies in this resource, which at times we continue to discard. So I'm hoping after this special art episode, you and your kids, your loved ones, will continue to see the value that lies not only in your homes, but your office spaces and beyond. Natalia, hello.
Hi, Kamo. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for being intentional with your time. You could have decided to continue sculpting and leave us hanging on the grand couch. But you are here. Long time coming.
Yes.
Awesome. You're very welcome once again. Usually I ask my guests, who are you? Why do you exist? What gets you up in the morning and a hobby? Because it helps just to see the person behind the work. So who are you? Where did you grow up? Why do you exist?
Wow, what a deep question. And we're going all the way back now.
Yeah, all the way back.
So my name is Natania Botha, and I grew up in a small mining town in the Northwest Province called Moinoi.
Oh, yes, okay.
Ironically, it means beautiful girl.
Oh, hello. Hello.
So there's a few of us.
I know where to direct my brothers now.
But for me, growing up in a small mining town like Moinoi, it takes me to a place where it is the platinum dust under my feet, the cracked earth, and also a place of very hard and humble beginnings.
Yeah.
So I had to leave school at the age of 16, not because I wanted to, but because life have pushed me into this decision that I had to make to become the financial provider for my mother and myself.
Yes.
And as many South Africans, I'm not a shining star in this compartment because there's so many South Africans that goes through this.
Yes.
And all I can say is that this decision took me to a place where I had to become an adult very quickly. Yeah. And that was something, a type of wisdom that no classroom can teach.
University of life.
Yes. So I had to find a job. And I found a job at Woolworths in Brits. And while I was working, I fell in love with mannequins, dressing them, the visual art of portraying a story where no language is required. It's only like this visual things coming through and people giving attention to it. So for me, they were the silent ambassadors of the store, So I worked for Woolworths. I fell in love with visual creation and clothing, obviously.
Yes.
So very important that I would like to note is that those windows, those mannequins, they always stayed with me.
Yeah.
Okay. But as any young person who has this drive to make something out of their life, especially when you come from a place of nothing, okay, there's a different drive. It's something different that drives those people.
Yes.
So I moved to Pretoria. I worked for several years in the insurance industry. And from there, I went on to work for a major importer and exporter of protective equipment.
Yes.
And this opportunity allowed me to travel Asia extensively, where I was doing negotiations for products, contracts, walking through factories, and so forth.
Yeah.
So in 2017, okay, my life changed for everything.
You've got my attention. I'm listening.
So I was walking on a beach in Durban, which was a holiday, okay, in the south of Durban. And this stretch of beach was covered in plastic, okay, in waste. Everything was there, from kitchen cupboards, car bumpers, coat hangers, everything, toys. Like, it was like this whole beach. You couldn't even see the sand.
Oh,
Okay, so I genuinely, like, it got to me. My heart was broken. And I didn't know, like, what do I do about this?
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't study environmental science, or, you know, I wasn't in a position where I could say, okay, guys, come, let's clean this beach. But because, like, it genuinely got to me, I immediately called up my boss on holiday and I resigned.
oh,
Okay.
just like that.
Just like that.
Because of waste.
Because of this beach that was covered in plastic.
Wow. Okay.
So I know it's like a radical thing to do.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people would just resign their job because they are seeing waste lying there.
That's the fascinating part. I mean, if I may interject to this point, 99.9% of the guests we've had on the Green Couch, they say that there's something that waste does to you. When you see it being misused or underappreciated or just not being realized as the resource that it is, there's a certain calling. And just based on what you're saying, it almost sounds like the spirit spoke to you and said, deal with me, I am yours.
So yeah, there I was. I resigned my job and I became an activist, environmental activist. And I took this whole ordeal to social media, like anyone would do.
Yeah.
And so the Wildlife Society got a hold of me. And they were like, listen, you can use our platform and you can organize a beach cleanup and we will support you in this endeavor, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, now I had like this North Star pointing, you know. So a long story short, 2 years later, they appointed me as the head of membership for the one section of the Wildlife Society. And I was also part of the EXCO committee.
Yes.
And me and my partner, we always joke about this, where we say, I went from the beach to the board.
Quite literally.
Literally. But that was only like the start of a very intense journey in my time so far in the green space. So in 2020, a door opened for me at Indalo Inclusive.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, where I became the partnerships and content development coordinator.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I found myself at the intersection of green entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Okay. And I received opportunities to travel the length and breadth of South Africa. Okay. Some of the smallest communities, some people haven't even heard of. I've been there. Okay. And we've worked on different greening programs. For instance, the just transition, waste management, industrial technologies, sustainable agriculture, and so forth. And this was a whole new world for me, you know, being able to travel, not as a tourist, but as a witness to change.
I like that.
Yeah.
A witness to change.
A witness to change, because I stood on farms where the soil was coming back to life because of sustainable agricultural practices. I went to communities where normal people were rewriting their energy stories in real time. Okay. It might be a rural village being introduced to biogas and so forth. So I witnessed all of these things. But in 2022, I was invited to the International Adaptation Conference, which was hosted in Botswana.
Yes.
and I was part of the documentation team for the Resilient Frontiers, which is a visionary initiative of the UNFCCC. So this sessions at the conference, it wasn't a normal conference as usual. They would take us with, it was visionaries from different walks of life, okay? Different continents, different beliefs, different ways of upbringing, but everyone asked a different question. The question at the table was not, how do we fix what's broken? That was not the question. The question was, how does a just, regenerative, thriving society looks like? And how do we design from there? So our minds were taken to the edge of imagination to the year 2070. Okay. And in those conversations, I literally, my calling came through to me. It was like, no one else is going to bring this change that is in your heart, this vision that you have.
Yeah.
So I went back home and I was wrestling with this whole thing for 3 months because I didn't have a dad that I could just call up and say, hey, listen, I want to start this endeavor. Can you give me a startup capital?
Yes.
I had loads of financial burdens on top of me to start off
You had the opposite of what you needed to start.
Yeah, so all of the odds were not in my favor.
Yeah.
But I just felt that if not me, then who? And if I don't do it now, then who is going to do it?
Yeah.
And the art world is so complex that I knew that, this endeavor that I want to go into, it's going to be hard.
Yes.
Because it is not a matter of gathering volunteers, let's quickly clean here, or let's build a vegetable garden over there, or whatever. This is something where you truly need to dedicate yourself to. And there's a big sacrifice that you make because, how can I say it? You sort of exchange certainty for risk.
I mean, that's so true.
Or calling, definitely calling as well. And so I gave it 3 months and I resigned. And then I took about, I would say, my first year to just make art.
And this is now 2023.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I managed to get my hands on a whole bunch of mannequins, 30 odd mannequins. And also I have been collecting through the years wherever I would go, even if it's a small little village in Limpopo or in Venda or in the Western Cape or Eastern Cape, I would take a few little stones from the community or driftwood or anything that would catch my eye. So I'm a firm believer that as an artist, you have to be resourceful. And with resourcefulness, I'm not referring to money.
Yes.
Okay, because money is going to be very limited in your life as an artist.
The greater resource.
Unless you make it,
Yeah.
But I try to look at things differently in terms of my creations. What can I bring to the table that is authentic, but it still serves a purpose within society?
Yeah.
So I started my studio on the principles of inclusivity. Now, when I speak about inclusivity, it's not a matter of boys, girls, getting the right amount of number to empower. I'm not talking about that. I'm referring to what does inclusivity look like for me.
Yes.
So for me in my life, I went out and I started to teach individuals with special needs.
Yes.
Specifically Down syndrome.
Yes.
Most of my students are nonverbal. They can't talk. And I myself, I'm neurodiverse. I struggle with ADHD. I struggle with deep depression.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a chronic depression, if I
Yeah.
can put it like that. But that's something that I manage on a daily basis,
Yes.
you know. So when I work with these individuals, I use classical music,
Okay.
to get them into a state of creation. And once they are in a state of creation, then we are unstoppable. Okay.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Have you always been an artist, or did art come and find you in 2022? It was like, hey, Nat, knock, knock, I'm here.
No.
Oh.
No.
What happened?
I was born as an artist.
Okay.
Even in school, I was seen as an outcast.
Okay.
I was this weird.
Yeah. We like weird people on the green couch. You're home.
Yeah. I didn't make friends easily. And I've always been complex. My own mother would even say, like, I don't understand you. But then I would always say to her, you can just love me. There's no need to understand me.
Nice and simple.
So I've always been an artist. And even in my roles that I've been in companies, I've always lived out my artistry.
Yes.
In different ways, okay? Not in a way of, okay, let's paint or let's sculpt or
let's
let's
paint
do
the
this.
monthly reports.
But my reporting would be immaculate. Like, it would be storytelling.
It will be pretty as well.
So I write pretty well and compelling proposals as well.
Yes.
And that is something that I genuinely take pride in, because for me, that is also a signature of my art.
Yeah.
So, so just to set the record straight, I don't think you just become an artist.
Yeah.
You are born an artist. Like, you would feel it in your bones, in your soul. Like, what I'm doing right now, like, I feel at home.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I came here to do for. And that, for me, was my life struggle.
Yeah.
Like getting off of this hamster wheel of earning a salary, of staying for the benefits, and just developing this little bubble that we all live in. If you are unemployed, then your life looks different from where you are when you are employed. So I think from my side, okay, it was genuinely a leap of faith that I had to take. And up until this day, it is still a leap of faith until I get to make it.
Yes.
Okay? I feel like I'm on fire.
Oh, okay.
But I have not made it fully in the world of art, because I feel everyone needs to see my art for what it is and the purpose that it serves. So I do go, I make a point of it to exhibit wherever I see it aligns with my art.
Yeah.
And I create partnerships with corporations, with NGOs. I've recently donated advocacy fish sculpture to Ushaka Marine World, and it will form part of the education center. I've done an art piece for the United Nations on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And literally, we've worked every single goal into this sculpture where we felt it will fit. That's why this SDG is there.
Yes.
So, for instance, quality education, we've added it into the head. And something that I've learned over many years is that you can only innovate to the level of your exposure.
Yes.
So, for instance, I've been exposed to mannequins, and I have this deep thing inside of me that loves working with stones, with patterns, where I don't see things as broken, but rather as how can we rearrange it to fit purpose? And how can we fit everything into something where everyone can play a part? So that's why inclusivity is very important for me. and the artists that I do teach through my studio, I make a habit of it to take their art with mine on exhibition.
Yes.
And sometimes you can't see the difference in
Because they're at the
who
same
made it.
level with you.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Your art is inspired by mannequins and you use a lot of stone. Does it then get into the category of sculptures, or does it have a different category? And this is like for the lay person who knows art to draw and who knows art as a wire and then art as a brick somewhere. So where does yours fit in?
I felt that it was part of sculpting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel strongly that it does fit in with sculpting, but mosaic is one of the oldest surviving art forms.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they still find mosaic floors from 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So for me, I love working with these different elements of ceramics, but it was also a thing of I go to glass suppliers, people who cut mirrors, and I would ask them for the skip of offcuts that would go to landfill. So I would make art out of that as well. I would go to corporates and say, listen, your office waste, office recycling, your bottle caps, etc. Can you give it to me? We want to make art out of it. So it is difficult to work with different elements. Like, so for instance, plastic is very different to metal to work with, and stone is very different from mirror.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of different things that you need to learn in the craft. It is something not like, if I can use an example, like painting, but there is paintings that takes up a lot of time. So I don't want to take away from any craft.
Yeah.
Okay. But mosaic is something that genuinely takes everything of you because it's a slow work. It is something that you have to work with precision to make sure your gaps and everything flows. And if I can put emphasis on the patterns, so it is genuinely, it takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I feel that in South Africa, because I went to a lot of shows to showcase my art, I can sort of like get a feeling from, what people think and what they say about the art. I feel that we don't fully understand the value of art and the value of artists in our society.
On that point, there could be someone who's watching now, sitting wherever they're seated, wondering, what do I do with the creative juices that I have? I'm going to pose a question that can hopefully answer it for them. What are the opportunities in using, like in your case, the ceramic material? Let me not call it ceramic waste because we're agreeing that it's a resource. What opportunities are there? And can I actually start a business? If I do start a business, what are some of the pain points I should look out for? Because I'm wondering, if I'm not going to get employed tomorrow, what's going to happen?
Okay.
It's about to get interesting.
Like I said, if you have a desire for your art to take flight, there's a certain price that you're going to have to pay.
Yes.
Okay. And I don't want to be pessimistic about this, only because my own journey is a little bit bitter.
Yes.
But if I can give any advice, yes, you can start a business. You can start a business from absolutely anything. Okay. If you don't believe me, take a cup. Go to all of your neighbors and ask them for a cup of sugar. Okay.
I know what I'm doing this evening. I know what I'm doing.
So your neighbors will always help you, especially I feel in South Africa. That is something, we've got the spirit of Ubuntu. If I'm going to go to my neighbor, I'm going to ask them, can you give me a cup of sugar? Another one, can you give me a cup of flour? People are going to make it happen for you.
Yeah.
But as an artist, it is a very lonely career.
Yeah.
Okay, because not everyone sees your struggle and not everyone understands your struggle.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, when you break out of the barriers and your art becomes international and there is this value attached to it, you know. One thing that I would like to point out is that you can use absolutely anything to make art with.
Okay.
You can use dust. Okay.
Okay.
You can use dust and spit to make art. And there will be a value attached to it once you have paid that price to be a recognized artist.
This is interesting. I'm starting to think about all the bubble gums that I have under my bed. Oh, that bubble gum. Okay. Spit, my art. Got you.
And anything can be art.
Yeah.
So hence I'm saying that like the art space is so complex because no one can tell you, no, this is not art. Okay, because anything can be art and you can use anything to make art. The most important thing that the person should ask themselves is, there's a difference between a hobby and a career.
Yes.
And a lot of people see art as a hobby. Okay, and hence they don't want to attach value to someone who are using art as a full-time career.
Okay. And on that note, we can use anything. We can use anything. And build, create awesome, memorable stuff. Within the art industry, are there conversations around waste as a topic or waste as a input material, irrespective of what each person may be specializing in?
Yes, I would definitely say that sustainability is on top of all the discussion points.
Yeah.
The thing is, we shouldn't look at it as waste. Okay.
Okay.
And we shouldn't look at it from a perspective of, well, this is a bottle cap, so why should I pay a X amount for this sculpture? Like I said, art has its own language and it will talk to people in its own way. Even if it means something for the artist, the interpreter might get a different message. So I would like to say that, like sustainability is definitely on top of every discussion point that I've been to, and I'm sure for the future to come. I just think that we as artists, we need to find and we need to create those paths because they're not existing, you know.
Spot on. Absolutely spot on.
It is not and the whole world is changing all the time. I mean, when I started to work, I used a fax. I was learning how to write a fax cover.
Now you just Bob's your uncle.
So that brings me to even artificial intelligence. Like, what role can that play for artists? Because AI can't make your art for you, but there is an element where, you know, it can help you to break through barriers.
Yes.
Where your mind can maybe be stuck on something, and AI can help you to break through it, but it shouldn't be your only reference, you know, if I can put it like that. There's definitely AI is going to play a big role in the future of art as well. And obviously sustainability. Like, how do we come to terms with the things that we create as the human race? And how do we rewrite the story it's currently, we see it as something that doesn't have value, and yet it is something that you pay for when you go to the shop, and then you throw it in the dustbin.
You're really making me think. As I mentioned earlier, I'm sitting on the consumption side of art, and as a practitioner in the waste management space, separation at source, activities like separation at source become quite critical, because when we do that, we are streamlining this resource material for different industries. Someone is making compost, someone else is making sculptures, another person is making glass chandelier. Adding on to that, it even encourages a form of therapy. I'll call it art therapy, because in the process of doing some of these activities, either at home with the kids or even as aspiring entrepreneurs, there is therapy that comes with it. I find that it's an underrated approach to calmness, especially for those who operate in your typical science, technology, engineering, maths, and what was the I? Innovation. Yes. STEMmy, something like that. So I'm listening to you, and I'm hoping that those who watch this episode, particularly our friends in the creative economy, can pick up these beautiful untapped opportunities that the entire art sector has to offer. And we're using the word art loosely because, like you're saying, you need to find your niche and see where best can you come through. I mean, I'm even thinking of wood, those sleeper furnitures. I'm thinking of metal, the young men we find at, I suppose, the corner of the road, stone. All of these were discarded materials at some point, and they fill up our homes. They fill up our office spaces. So I hope you can give me a 10 out of 10 for my synthesis.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
All right. As we wind down, what are some of those pertinent pieces of insights that you'd want either entrepreneurs or even waste generators to bear in mind so that we continue to see and appreciate the work of your hands as artists?
I would say don't listen to the critics. Okay, don't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because even in your own family, your family will say, "Oh, you're crazy. You can just go and find a job and you can eat every night." You know,
Not this one where you eat every second day for the love of art.
So sometimes it's your own family, it's your inner circle that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
And I usually take it as when you're busy washing dishes,
Yeah.
and you look into a spoon, it gives you a distorted image of yourself. And that is usually how I see people's opinions.
Yes.
It is a spoon talking to me.
Interesting.
Okay? Because they don't know the valleys that I've trenched.
Yes.
Okay? They don't know the tops that I've seen.
Yeah.
And they don't know where I'm going.
Yeah.
And that is why it's so important for yourself to have a vision of who you are, and not like I don't want to say this lightly, because I was finding myself in that position for many years where I would think that I am my job and you are not your job.
Okay.
And that is something that no university can teach you.
Yeah.
Okay. That what happens when the carpet is away under your feet? What do you do? Where do you go? And you will need like certain survival skills, especially when you are approaching a sector like the arts.
Yes.
Because like obviously how can I say it? I'm sorry, I lost myself there.
Is it an Afrikaans word? Or
No,
German
no,
word?
it's fine.
Okay, it will come back. It will come back. I'm hearing you. I'm even feeling inspired to start a side gig. I'm feeling really inspired to start a side gig. A friend of mine makes these beautiful pieces from textile material that's meant to be landfilled. And through conversations like this, she then said, oh, let me start a whole business out of it. Even if I service 2 tailors, collecting their material, at least every piece will be bespoke, and she creates them in such a way that they can last a lifetime. And that's art in itself. And
Absolutely.
I'm also seeing the need for this green couch to have more creatives, because the creative mind is an off-taker of the material that these practitioners are working towards separating at source. Yeah. So next time if I come here and I've got an Oompa Loompa on my head, just know that I have been inspired.
So what I wanted to say was that, we go to school with these great enthusiasms that we want to go to university and study maybe law or this or that, and we're going to find a job, and the job is going to pay us X amount.
Yeah.
They don't teach us that things might not work out for you that way.
No, that's not in the curriculum.
And then you go and you become an entrepreneur, and you have to be everything. You have to be finance. You have to be marketing. You do your own marketing. You have to make the own products. You have to be receptionist, everything. And, you go to university only to study marketing or finance or this or that. And I just think that in South Africa, our landscape allows us, when we come from nothing, or whether we come from something, it doesn't matter, because our landscape allows us to find things that we can change.
I get you.
Yeah. So, for instance, I've always been fascinated by this one innovation in water, and the guy's name is Morandini, and he's Pathini water.
Yes.
And like him coming up with this innovation of using macadamia nuts to filtrate water, like for me, it just sounds nuts. Okay.
No pun intended.
But the change that he brought to communities in our country is just absolutely amazing. It touches my heart. And I mean, for a youngster to come up with something like that, it is amazing. I wish to see more innovations like that from South Africa.
Please tell them in the camera. Tell them that you want to see those innovations. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that, yes, our situation is dire, especially with the unemployment rate in our country. But there is a great opportunity that we can all benefit from. And that is, we can use our imagination to innovate.
Yeah.
And once, like I said, you can only innovate to the level of your exposure.
Yes.
So it's your mandate to go and expose yourself to things. And exposure doesn't mean that you're going to have success overnight. It takes years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
So if I can leave you with this today, that Rome wasn't built in one day. And that I really see the future of South Africa is in entrepreneurship, and in sectors that has not even been developed yet.
Yes.
And we are the custodians. We have to take the lead in those things and create patterns and new innovative things that forms part of our society that is regenerative. And when I say regenerative, it means that it can stay with us. It's not something that we extract from the soil or something harsh. We can regenerate from it. And that is something that is very important for me on my journey.
By the way, I like how you speak with so much passion.
Thank you.
It is quite contagious. Yeah. Hence, tomorrow with an Oompa Loompa on my head, it's because of her. So ladies, gentlemen, younglings, This beautiful sector of ours boasts untapped opportunity. This is just the creative industry alone. And when you start unpacking the different components of it, waste becomes a resource for regeneration, remanufacturing, redesign. And it just shows that irrespective of what you may have studied or what you may have been exposed to, it presents us with that opportunity to be impactful while equally making a living out of it. So continue to have these conversations during your school runs, during the coffee breaks with colleagues, during your dates with your partners, during brides, baby showers, and sports games. Because, as I always say, it starts with us. We are the generators, and we are the same group of people who will realize these opportunities in our sector. Once again, thank you to the moon and beyond.
Thank you.
I see future conversations happening. I really, really do see future conversations. And may you continue to tell the beautiful stories through the work of your hands and equally inspire those who you are and will still work with in future.
Thank you. Thank you for letting my story land on your couch today.
Yay! After 2 months, guys. Until the next episode, continue to be impactful human beings and not waste a single story. Goodbye.
We can use the past to shape the future. It's our future, literally reimagined, if I'm borrowing from the University of Johannesburg.